This is the luxury world. Get inspired with us today and tomorrow. In recent years, escalating prices within the Rolex watch market have sparked widespread debate across forums, YouTube commentary sections, social media circles, and enthusiast meetups. A recurring accusation has taken hold, namely, that gray market dealers are the principal force behind the inflated costs of both common and rare Rolex models. While it is true that prices have corrected substantially from pandemic-era highs, this narrative fails to consider the broader ecosystem that enables speculative behavior. In this video brought to you by the Luxury World, we will discuss our analysis that will highlight how a decentralized network of buyers, authorized dealers, and aftermarket players has contributed to pricing volatility, rather than attributing it solely to secondary sellers. We will take a look at the reasons why Rolex prices are going crazy. Make sure to subscribe to Luxury World for exclusive access to upcoming insights, curated content, and expert guidance to help elevate every step of your watch investment journey. A widespread misconception suggests that gray market dealers directly purchase Rolex watches at retail and immediately resell them for 2 or even 3 times the original price. This belief, though persistent, often lacks substantial evidence. In reality, most gray market transactions stem not from dealers securing retail access, but rather from private individuals, often labeled as flippers, who obtain Rolex models through high-spend relationships with authorized dealers or jewelry stores. These individuals then engage in widespread price shopping among secondary dealers in pursuit of the highest possible offer. This practice resembles an informal auction system, where flippers act as middlemen between boutiques and the secondary market. When a highly sought-after model, such as a Submariner, Daytona, or GMT-Master 2, is secured at retail, the immediate objective for many of these individuals is to liquidate the watch at a premium. Emails flood into pre-owned watch businesses almost instantaneously, offering newly acquired timepieces that have not even left their protective factory seals. In some instances, sellers solicit offers prior to even finalizing the retail purchase. For example, a collector may receive a call from an authorized dealer regarding allocation of a desirable model and begin requesting buyout offers from multiple secondary market platforms before physically taking possession of the watch. This behavior creates a speculative environment driven not by dealer manipulation, but by individual profit motives. It is important to clarify that Rolex boutiques, although bearing the Rolex name, are operated by third-party entities. Each authorized dealer location functions independently within a regional framework, granting a significant degree of autonomy in terms of allocation practices and client vetting protocols. These structural variances contribute to inconsistencies in consumer experiences and provide opportunities for certain clients, particularly high spenders, to receive preferred access to coveted models. Some of these buyers are enthusiasts. Others are opportunists. In the latter case, watches acquired retail are viewed not as personal items, but as financial instruments. The disparity between retail and secondary market pricing encourages immediate resale, thereby perpetuating scarcity on boutique shelves. Though Rolex corporate policy discourages flipping behavior, the brand lacks the logistical infrastructure to enforce post-sale restrictions effectively. Unlike luxury automakers such as Ferrari, which have implemented contractual clauses to prevent resale within certain periods or to require right of first refusal, Rolex offers no such legal constraints. As a result, once a piece is sold through an authorized dealer, the brand relinquishes control over its fate. Gray market dealers operate in a space defined by tight margins, rapid turnover, and price-sensitive clientele. The belief that such dealers routinely enjoy astronomical profits is largely exaggerated. In most cases, the purchase prices offered to flippers reflect the competitive nature of the aftermarket, often only marginally above retail. Given that overhead costs include authentication, warranty, photography, marketing, shipping, and risk management, even a few $100s of margin must be carefully assessed. For timepieces in high demand and low supply, dealers may accept minimal profits in exchange for liquidity and brand presence. A Daytona with boxes and papers may yield a dealer only a small premium, particularly if the seller has already shopped the piece to multiple competitors. If a dealer believes the model will sell quickly due to its popularity, there may be willingness to hold inventory for short-term resale, but not without caution. Furthermore, the rapid communication network among dealers allows real-time pricing adjustments and collective sentiment. Group chats, industry contacts, and marketplace algorithms enable immediate benchmarking. As a result, a flipper contacting 20 to 50 dealers will almost certainly find one willing to take the watch at a slight premium if the model meets current demand. This auction-like practice accelerates price inflation not by direct dealer manipulation, but by the collective bidding behavior incited by the seller's outreach. Contrary to widespread belief, gray market dealers are often at the mercy of individual sellers. Flippers who secure watches at retail command significant leverage when engaging in pricing negotiations. These individuals dictate terms, supply reference photos, and request immediate wire transfers, sometimes within hours of receiving boutique notification. The outcome is a form of distributed price discovery, where the market is shaped by whoever is willing to pay the most in real time. The higher the demand for a model, the more aggressive the dealer's behavior becomes, not from a desire to manipulate prices, but from the necessity of maintaining inventory that satisfies eager clients. In effect, it is not the secondary dealer who inflates prices unilaterally, but rather the initial point of accessing the boutique buyer, who introduces the watch into a competitive aftermarket. This dynamic creates upward pressure on pricing as each transaction benchmark sets a new perceived reasonable value. The resulting volatility is therefore a byproduct of opportunistic reselling, not dealer orchestration. Rolex is fully aware of the collector sentiment regarding scarcity, inflated resale values, and boutique gatekeeping. Yet, the brand remains characteristically silent. Official communication on production volumes, distribution adjustments, or resale control mechanisms is virtually non-existent. Such silence is strategic. Rolex maintains demand by withholding supply transparency and leaving boutiques to implement discretionary allocation policies. From a business perspective, this scarcity model preserves brand prestige and controls brand dilution. However, it also enables an ecosystem where individual flippers act as intermediaries, capitalizing on perceived exclusivity and generating after-sales activity that the brand neither publicly endorses nor outright condemns. Boutiques attempt to vet buyers by building profiles based on spending history, brand loyalty, and demographic compatibility. Still, the challenge remains. Once the product leaves the boutique, control is forfeited. The gray market is not the origin of the problem, but a visible extension of deeper structural inefficiencies in retail access and post-sale accountability. Another element contributing to inflated pricing is international arbitrage. Rolex authorized dealers in lower demand regions, often in Asia, Eastern Europe, or the Middle East, may face slower turnover of high-ticket items. In such cases, retail pricing remains the same globally, but demand differs significantly by region. Opportunistic buyers in these regions may acquire luxury models at standard pricing, then resell them into higher demand markets through transnational gray networks. This arbitrage further complicates the pricing landscape. A dealer in the United States or Western Europe may encounter a newly listed watch from overseas priced above local retail, and the origin of such inventory may never involve domestic boutique access. Cross-border movement, combined with differences in taxation and shipping, exacerbates perceived price inflation, even when initial acquisition followed authorized retail channels. Rather than pointing solely to gray market dealers as villains, the broader structure must be examined. Rolex's scarcity model, boutique allocation inconsistencies, and flipper opportunism all contribute to aftermarket distortions. The aftermarket, by its nature, reflects demand more than intention. A dealer pays what is required to secure inventory, and buyers pay what the market commands. In between, the flipper exploits the gap. Looking ahead, several factors may influence the market trajectory. Should Rolex increase production capacity, distribute inventory more equitably across regions, or implement ownership-based allocation strategies, volatility may decline. However, as long as timepieces can be converted into short-term profit vehicles, aftermarket pricing will remain reactive. The path forward must be rooted in collective responsibility among brands, retailers, collectors, and dealers alike. A sustainable luxury ecosystem depends on aligned incentives and long-term brand stewardship, not opportunistic gain. Only through such alignment can the watch market restore balance between access, authenticity, and appreciation. What do you think are the other reasons why Rolex prices are going crazy? We would love to hear your perspective. Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments and give the video a thumbs up if you found it insightful. Do not forget to follow Luxury World for more curated content on fine timepieces and market insights. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to welcoming you again in our next video.